Hey guys, it's Michelle with Complete Wellness, and today I want to talk to you about not losing the blessing that comes with any time of suffering or period of pain. I know whether it's a relationship or a job you feel stuck in, or a situation that you feel you're being treated unfairly, or and it may be legit. The tendency is to focus on the woe is me of it, the why is this happening, and you spin around that, and you may never be able to figure that out, and or you want to stay stuck in it because it's what you know. Um, if you've been fortunate enough to say get out of a toxic relationship, you ever have an orange and it was not good, it was dried out, didn't taste good, and you're like, well, I don't like oranges. This is what an orange is, and I don't like oranges now. But then sometime later on, someone convinces you to try an orange again, and all of a sudden this one is sweet and juicy, and oh my God, I do like oranges. I just got a bad one. Okay, so the context and the contrast of that situation will serve you if you let it. If you get over the bitterness and needing to make them wrong and needing to pour over all the details and keep accusing them and being angry at them, then you're gonna stay stuck right where you are, and that's a shame. But the blessing in it is if you can understand how that serves you, that what you've been through, now you know how to appreciate a better thing. The person who tried to control you and talk down to you and make you feel like you couldn't be loved by anyone but them, once you detach from all of that wrong bullshit, the next person that you meet, what, you're going to be a lot more careful, right? A careless driver gets a lot more careful when they get in a wreck. And to the degree of how bad that wreck was, is the degree of how careful they're going to be in the future. And I'm not saying to turn you into, someone who's paranoid and, no one's good enough, and, I'm saying it's going to open your eyes. You're going to take more than a week to figure this person out. And because you went through the toxic poison of having that person in your life, you're sensitive to it now. You have a radar about it now. So when someone's feeding you a line of bullshit, you feel it because you've been lied to. You know what that felt like. So it's the contrast of that. You've never been lied to, and you're just naive and just think everybody's out to do you a favor. Then you're likely to get taken advantage of because you're not looking for it. It's not even something in your experience to pull from. However, if you have been there, now you know. So you get more careful. So one, you get more careful about the person that's in your face now, trying to tell you the same kind of bullshit, and you can feel it out. You're going to have a sensitivity to something's just not right, or a genuineness about them. Two, if that person does turn out to be who they say they are, you are going to appreciate it so much more than you ever could have. It's like, you eat bologna for months and months in a row, and all of a sudden someone throws a steak on your plate. You appreciate the shit out of that steak. Like, you don't even remember what steak tasted like. But now that you've got it, you don't ever want to give it up. You're never going to eat bologna again in your lifetime. It's the same, I live in Florida. We get hurricane weather. I mean, the summer is basically sunny with a chance of rain. See ya. And so, you have days where in a row that it's just raining nonstop. But then the sun peeks its way out, and all of a sudden you can't grab your shoes quick enough to go out and enjoy it because you've been pinned in by the rain. Rain's good, but day 5, I'd like to go outside, So you have, and same thing with jobs, right? I've been in shitty jobs where or it was the boss that was just such an ogre, such a hateful person. And then you get in a situation, or you travel to a third world country, right? So then you come back to America where everyone's bitching about things, and you're like, you need to take a trip. That's what they need to do to solve everything, is give you a trip to some third world country, so when you come back here, you can really appreciate running water. But same thing with jobs. You know, I've gone onto a different job where, you know, people are complaining about, we don't get a long enough break or whatever, and I'm thinking, break? I don't even know what that means. Or a boss who doesn't, in my mind, doesn't even bother you, doesn't harass you, doesn't, because I'm thinking through the eyes of where I came from. Contrast. Had I never had a shitty job or a shitty boss, I wouldn't know how to fully appreciate a good boss. So all the entitled, because you've never been through anything, you let that serve you. Let that, at least, I mean, it was a bad situation, right? It felt like shit, but you're not in it anymore. At least let it serve you so you're not repeating mistakes, turning a blind eye to stuff that you know better. Don't let loneliness make you make the same mistakes. But anyway, so in a job situation where you appreciate that. You ever drive a beater? My first vehicle was a shit vet that I had to push because it didn't go in reverse. It literally was like Flintstone. There were rusted out holes in the back seats, in the bottom of the back seats. I mean, I didn't know. I was just happy to get from point A to point B. But my first car, after that, my first brand new vehicle, man, I treated it like gold. I waxed that thing every weekend, even though it was brand new and didn't need it, because I appreciate it so much more after having been, you know, had a piece of shit, a POS, you know. So if you can try to reframe it in your mind to look at it as a blessing that served you, because that contrast, you would never know. You would never know how good this thing is unless you had something that was worse than that. Neighborhoods, I've done that. I had to take a job, and I almost did it sight unseen. Moved to Texas. It was a lot more money. That's where my mind was, so I took it. I was there for one day to find a place to live. Move all of my life from Florida to Texas, and get woken up in the middle of the night by what? A train. Where? Like 100 feet from my front door on the other side of a privacy fence was a train. I lived there 15 months. I bet you I didn't make that mistake again. I bet you I researched the next neighborhood I moved to. But what do you do? It's experience. I would never make that mistake again. You know, if a thing lasted a month or a year or 10 years, be glad when you finally got out of it. That's every single day is like a new lease on life. So again, whether it's a job or a relationship or however you acted hastily and you got your butt served to you, you know, like a car wreck, you know, you drove aggressively, you got in a bad wreck, no one is more careful. Think about the born again smokers, non-smokers. No one is more annoying to be around than someone who just recently quit smoking. Because they know how horrible it was, how addicted they were, how much they stank. They know all the trappings of it, and they have to rebel so hard because they don't want to slip back into the thing. So, again, we all go through tough times, rough patches, or whether it's a relationship or a job or whatever it is that you think is the end of it all. Trust me, when you get that better thing, and you will, stop focusing on the bad so that you don't keep bringing more of that crap to you. Stop focusing on that. Reframe it. Understand it happened for a reason. Let it serve you and then move on. Let the rest of it go. Because when you get that better thing, honey, that better job, living in that better neighborhood, driving that better vehicle, having that better person to share your life with, that uplifts you, that is supportive of you and proud of you and wants nothing but you to be you. But you will appreciate all these things way more if you had less than.